So let me just say from the get-go, this is just me speculating. Just curious because so many coincidences around all of this. BLM, the Black Panthers, Angela Davis, Fannie Willis, him dating Angela Davis back in the 60s, even now. And yet his name is John Floyd. And here we all know this face. We had to see it every single day on murals everywhere. This man was a criminal. And yet the police officer that was doing what was in his book, he was trained to hold him down that way. He did not die of what that officer did. He didn't. It's in the autopsy. He didn't. And then they took out of the work manual that the police are given there in Minnesota, they took it out after. So he didn't do anything wrong. He was doing what he was trained to do. Did the cameras make it look horrible? They did. But he was all doped up on fentanyl and all other drugs. He always was. Again, I've said that if you can find the video where he's fallen all over the convenience store right before he comes out and the police are there, he put a gun up to a woman's pregnant belly and threatened to kill her baby. Like he wasn't a good person. Am I saying he deserved to die? Well, he killed himself with all the fentanyl abuse. He'd been picked up before for it. So there was no reason that we had to go through the whole summer of 2020 with murals of George Floyd everywhere. They turned this into a total golden calf situation. And I just wonder, because here's the thing, communists, they will go to any lengths they have to. Again, you have to separate that they're different than you. Because communists, they are patient. Karl Marx talked about this. All of them talk about this. That it's something that even Angela Davis has said that it's something that it's incrementally brought in. They don't just come and overthrow you or parachute into your country and then take you into communism. No, it happens little by little, and before you know it, you're in it, and you're like, how did we get here? So that's the danger here, because we have already fallen into it very badly. That's the reason why there's so many cameras everywhere. We shouldn't have that here in America, all this surveillance shit. But they incrementally brought it in by scaring everybody from 9/11, that we all, and I was one of them, thought I'll give up a little bit of my freedom for safety. I literally said that. I will never say that again. No, I will be as unsafe as I have to be, but I never will I give an inch of freedom up to the government. That is the reason they use the fear tactic. So in this case, in 2020, we had to watch all the marching and burning down of major cities, especially the Democrat cities, all through the summer of 2020, while the hospitals, the ones in Illinois, and I'm sure across the country, but definitely Chicago and the surrounding area, all signed a letter. I keep mentioning it because never have I seen the hospitals do this. All the Chicagoland hospitals, all of the suburbs, most of the suburbs, signed a letter. Each hospital, like three pages of all these hospitals that signed what they stood for after George Floyd died. And it was, we stand with Black Lives Matter. And ever since then, it's been about diversity, equity, and inclusion. Talk about a Karl Marx agenda playing out perfectly well. Yeah, that's exactly what diversity, equity, and inclusion is about. Yet this went ridiculously crazy. Anybody that was paying attention, you were just like, yeah, screw CNN, screw all you people. In New York, they were they were violent. But then, see, this is what I don't get about the Black Panthers and the BLM people. Like, their leaders. It's like, yeah, and Angela Davis and Bernadine Dorn, you guys want to carry on about how brutal and violent the police are and how it's an unjust system. Are you kidding me? You people are jerk-offs. And here's why. Because all through the summer of 2020, you guys burnt cities down. You set cop cars on fire. You set businesses on fire, even black businesses on fire. People that had worked so hard for their business their whole life were yelling at you, and they were black, saying, how could you do this? What the hell's the matter with you? Ruined everyone's lives in these cities. And yet we have our institutions of medicine, nursing, healthcare, all promoting the DEI, critical race theory, pushing the division. It's a disgrace. Medicine is just totally off of it's just not about evidence right now. But we had to watch this ridiculous foolishness. So for Angela Davis or Bernadine Dorn or any of these leaders of BLM or Black Panthers, or I don't care what organization you're with, to carry on about somehow you're oppressed, give me a break. All the people that were with Antifa, that were with BLM, they got immediately released. Hell, in some cities, the cops couldn't even arrest them while they had to stand there and watch them set their cars on fire. So Angela Davis, and Bernadine Dorn, yeah, time to zip it up, hospitals. Time to zip it up, you universities. You're making fools out of yourself, and you did through the summer of 2020. Now, there is a portion of society that keeps their head in the sand and just says, oh, yeah, I support BLM. Why? You shouldn't be supporting a George Soros-funded color revolution because it's to take you into slavery. Now, you can sit there and say, oh, I'm just off my rocker and a conspiracy theorist. But I think there's enough Americans that see this for what it is because enough evidence has come out about all this. But here's the thing. Communists, they will kill their own if it will help advance their cause. Because they're basically, they're sociopaths. Literally, they are. So this was a used golden calf for BLM, for the whole, bringing in the whole color revolution. And the universities were on board with it long ago, and the hospitals showed that in 2020 they were on board with it too. Which is why if the hospital systems in America had any ethical standards, which they don't, they would have came out and said, we do not stand with Black Lives Matter anymore. They should have stopped standing with them after they watched all across the country in the summer of 2020, people being intimidated, people being hurt. One person was killed, businesses and cities put on fire. Should any hospital or healthcare agency support that? Absolutely not. But Northwestern wanted to bus employees to these riots. Because it was all about, yes, racial, social justice. Yes, shove your social justice up your ass. It's not about being social. It's about being antisocial. That's what communists are. That is not a political party. It's a wicked system. If the devil was going to be a political system, it would be the Communist Party. Because it is the one party that leads to genocide. Now, Angela Davis and Bernadine Dorn will tell you that America's a genocidal country. Yeah, no, only if they're in charge of it, it would be, because they're communists. But our free constitution, which, again, let me remind people, we are the least racist on the planet. Yeah, you can't go to most other countries and openly be gay. Go and try it and see what happens. But in America, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to do a lot of things because we are not an oppressive country. But we do have communists in this country that hide behind being freedom fighters, and they will set anybody up. They will do anything. They will sacrifice anybody they have to in the name of their cause of overthrowing America. A fact, 100% I'm right. And for those that don't believe me or think I'm crazy, well, let's see what happens.